out in Teams land? Can people hear us out in Teams land?
Hello.
Mic check.
I can hear.
Okay, thank you.
Should do.
I got 6:30 if you want to go ahead and start.
All right. Well, thank you all for being here tonight. So work session today, we figured that you guys like the work sessions to go over tonight's meeting. So this work session is yours to handle and to go over today's meeting. Just remember, no voting until our 7 p.m. session. So, Mr. Mayor, I'll let you have this. Oh, sorry. We planned the 6:30 meeting for you guys to go over tonight's agenda. So if you would like, we can talk about business item A or B, C, D, E, or any discussion items.
On business item A, I will be asking to add item F. We do have an application for a planning commissioner. And so I'll be asking to add item F. And then we can discuss 6A, but I'm probably going to suggest we table 6A. 6B would basically be a change that would enable us to do things if we can't get a planning commission quorum. 6A is more along the lines of redefining the planning, what the roles and responsibilities of planning commission.
How did that come about?
Okay, so we've had 3 resignations that have basically said similar things, where it was all 3 kind of indicated that they didn't really see a specific need for a quote unquote planning commission. And, oh, sorry. They didn't necessarily see a need for a planning commission. And so, we could look at moving the items that the planning commission approves to either between either the board or the planner, like major site plans. And then we could also conceivably go in and say, if we need a comp plan update, we could create a subcommittee. And that subcommittee would not have the same restrictions that the planning commission has on them. And so there's different options to consider.
I would actually propose tabling both A and B and having a work session with our current PC members.
You can make that proposal during the meeting. But yeah, that's kind of the genesis of it. The 3 resignations kind of indicated similar things. And, with that, it's kind of like, okay, is this something we need to consider? Do we need a full-blown planning commission? Can we get by with, a subcommittee that would be open? It actually have potentially broader participation.
Right. So that's what got me surprised is when I saw the ordinance that was changing the structure of the planning commission.
Yeah.
Before the discussion of, the strategic discussion of how we should change it.
Yeah.
Without planning, I thought that I was just sort of confused about the sequence. So
This was we had this in one of our previous meetings and we tabled it then and that's, I was kind of thinking it was a little early yet for at least item A.
okay. So
And B.
And potentially B.
all right.
I'm looking over. Okay, so the budget amendment, obviously we'll get a briefing on the updated budget. Human trafficking, that resolution came about actually in January. The mayor's caucus got together and this was brought up as something from the mayor's caucus that we were wanting to try to see if we could get kind of uniform support for all the areas that the mayor's represented. And so we decided, yes, we'll take it back to our respective boards and see if they want to vote on that. So that's the genesis of that.
What will we be doing during this prevention month? Like, what's the purpose?
It's just
Other
a
than everybody saying, yes, we agree that human
Yeah.
trafficking is bad. Is there a purpose beyond that? Like
just
communicating or
other than-
providing resources or anything like that?
No, other than just kind of showing unified support,
Solidarity.
solidarity. I don't think there's anything really in the resolution that commits us to anything other than saying, yeah, we are going to do it. Let's see. Looking through the ordinances now. Whereas, a lot of whereases. Affirming the town's commitment to connecting the dots, strengthening communities, preventing trafficking by increasing awareness, improving the education about human trafficking. So basically, I'm not seeing.
So
a
by
huge-
improving education, but what, again, that,
Yeah, again, and we'd probably look towards, more general
Mhm.
type things to maybe kind of promote. So that, like I say, that was the genesis. of
Okay.
that one.
thank you.
I also, each of you should have gotten on your desk, the summary of the last meeting as far as the potential ballot items. We'll have it, that'll be one of our discussion items, and then town manager's got a presentation on potential sales tax increase and then task list. And am I missing anything?
No, I think you're right, right on the dot. And you guys have that list of the potential ballot items we talked about last year and this year on your desk. Do you? Okay, good. And that's pretty much it. Well, and then after that, like you said, the task list, and not too much has changed on that. Question for you all. I know that, we plan this work session here at 6:30, and a couple of times wanted to go through that just to make the meetings run a little bit smoother. Would you guys like to have regular meetings at 6:30, or do you still plan at 7? It's up to you. It's just a question that we had. What do you feel?
I mean, if I could not go past my bedtime, that'd be awesome. I wouldn't complain about 30 minutes earlier.
Okay,
I'm a,
Mr. Ives.
Yeah, it makes them never mind to me.
We would need to
Mr.
check
Bell.
with Trustee King to make sure it works with her schedule as well, though.
Absolutely. Mr. Bell.
Yeah, I'm very flexible. I'm retired, so I can, accommodate schedules easier than 3 of our board members are working, so that.
I'm a little tired as well. Yeah, no, I feel great. So what we could do is, next meeting, I'll go ahead and get Jeff, and right before our next meeting, get him an ordinance just to change our regular meetings here to 6:30 if you guys like. That will give Miss King plenty of time to have input too before there's a vote on that. And that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
We're adding that to this agenda.
No, Mr. Bell. We're gonna go back to Jeff, have him write up an ordinance to change the regular meetings from 7 to 6:30, and then our next regular meeting, you guys can take that and discuss whether it's yay or nay.
What I like to do is make sure that it concurs with King before we expend expense with
Yeah,
the
we'll-
lawyer.
Okay.
Okay, I can
Yeah,
go
that
ahead
makes
and
sense.
request by email, and whatever her response is, I'll go ahead and forward that to you. And if whether it's no or yes, we can put it on the discussion item if it's a no for next month, and if it's a yes, then it'll be a business item. How does that work?
I mean, if it's a no for any of us, I think it just,
Yeah,
the
I-
common
Okay.
sense
No-
no
thing is
problem with
just
that.
to leave it at 7.
Yeah.
Okay, you got it.
Anything else we need to go over?
Yeah, when we go through the profit and loss, look, I tried to fix that on QuickBooks. I'm not a QuickBooks expert. And a lot of our time is being spent on Cassell, right? A lot of our accountants' time. So when we go through that, you're going to see the percent of budget. For those online, it might look like 0%, but we tried to do some edits, and now everything looks like we spent 100% over 100% of our budget per line item. So just a little forewarning on that. Expenses are pretty low, revenue's pretty low. We're only in the second month, going into our third month here. So waiting on a lot of disbursements. March disbursement for property tax is going to be low. They're going to then replace, generally March, we get a lot of our property tax. But this year they're not sending as much in March, but we'll get more in April. So just so you guys are aware of the happenings going on with that. That's pretty much it.
So is the profit and loss coming out of Cassell at this point?
No, this is still QuickBooks.
Okay.
And this partly goes to, when we were talking with the accountants doing the transition straight from Arrays to Cassell, since all the information's on Arrays already, rather than continuing to put on QuickBooks and then put it back over to Cassell. But been talking with the accountant today. We're going to try to get her to help us fix that in the meantime. So by next meeting, you can actually get some accurate figures of at least the percentage over the budget. The numbers you see there on your paper are going to be right, our expenditures, but
I
the
would
percentages
actually
are off.
prefer to have this even before next meeting if it gets corrected.
Okay,
My preference, but
you got it, Mr. Mayor.
yeah, you can't really tell right now, where we're really at with respect to revenues and or expenses for the time of year it is.
Yeah, agreed. Absolutely. We can go in a little bit more depth when the regular meeting starts. Exactly kind of what we're looking at, what you guys should be, expecting here.
Hey, is there anything else?
Did you all get a chance to? Using a audiovisual system that's a little bit more audible? Or what other ways can we do that is cost effective?
I think we can set the closed captioning on Teams. Because I've seen
Look real
that
quick,
before
so
where,
you can so you see.
I mean, PPACG does it that way. They have closed cap, they can actually set up the closed captioning.
Sure.
And it may have to be set up when you establish the meeting. I'm not sure.
No, we got to go ahead and write. We got it right now, online, the closed caption. Thank you. That's a good question. There's a couple different modes we can do. We can also look at exploring putting it on YouTube. We could also, I think that the OWL system could also help as well. I know I keep talking about this and you haven't seen this yet. I'm gonna wait before we get that, and until maybe, probably until we get more revenues coming in. So for now, I mean, if you guys like this, closed caption system, be more than welcome to continue this. You got it. We'll wait and see.
Trustees, anyone have anything you want to go over? Otherwise, we're going to have a nice break here before the meeting.
My apologies. I missed the February 17th meeting. There's this summary sheet in front of us.
Uh-huh.
Is there anything of value review on that?
We have a discussion item on ballot items.
Okay, fair enough.
And so I thought we'd probably have discussions in the open session.
Okay.
At least those are my thoughts anyway. Nothing. You have anything, any last minute items?
No, sir, we do not. Transcript's picking this all up pretty well, I will add.
Okay, everyone, especially out in Teams land, we'll reconvene with our regular meeting at 7:00. Thank you. I got 7, so. Good evening. I have 7 o'clock. Let's go ahead and call this meeting to order. If someone out in Teams land would let me know if they can hear me, I'd appreciate it.
I can hear.
Okay, thank you very much. We are short trustee King tonight. The rest of them are here. And with that, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, our next item, item 2, the agenda, I would like to add item 6F, Planning Commission appointment. And his name is Jason Morgan, right? Jason Morgan. Okay. Are there any other corrections or additions to the agenda?
I did set the minutes for February 17th on your desk. So if we can get those added.
Okay, minutes from February 3rd, add minutes for February 17th,
Yes, thank you.
26th.
Is it 3rd and 17th?
Yes, it'll be the 3rd and
Okay.
17th. And if there's no other corrections or additions, I'll go ahead and move that we approve the agenda as modified.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded. We approve the agenda for tonight as modified. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, our next item is the consent agenda with the minutes from February 3rd and February 17th. Any corrections on either of those minutes? And if
None
not,
found.
I would entertain a motion for the consent agenda.
I'll move that we accept the minutes from February 3rd and 17th.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the minutes from February 3rd and February 7th. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Reports. I'll go down the line for the trustees. I'll start to my right.
Nothing.
So we had a lot of good weather last week, a lot of hikers, a lot of people hitting the trails, a lot of people parking where they're not supposed to be parking. I ran into one lady who said that apparently there's a hiking app called All Trails. It's a subscription. And apparently people are saying that there's limited parking near the trailheads. So now we got people thinking that they can park near the trailheads.
And that's like Wikipedia. We've tried to actually.
Well,
mention stuff
I understand
before.
we don't have any control over that. However, there are areas near the trailheads that don't have any signage for no parking. On my side of the mountain, there's a sign at the bottom of the hill that's obscured by the Ann Street sign, so you don't really see it. And I know on Catamount and Myrtle, there's a couple of signs, but there's other places nearby that don't have any signage. That most people want to do the right thing.
Yeah. I agree.
But if they don't know, they ended up clogging up the roads
Okay.
during good weather.
Well, we do have a Parks Rec and Trails rep, and we have the marshal. Might want to.
I think that a couple of years back when they revamped all the signage that was up that was good for not parking at the trailheads was taken down. And so we've put some of it back up, but that area did not. So I'm happy to work with Kelly to get that signage replaced.
Thanks, Marshall.
You're welcome. Good. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So my report is I'm on the Board of Health. We are discussing Regulation 43 that has to deal with the cesspools. We are continue to continuing to discuss it. Not a lot I can report out. A lot of it, of our last meeting was under exec session. So, but we are hopefully getting the awareness on the board up, and we'll see where it goes. As for that, that's really the only thing I have to report. So we'll go on to committee reports. Do we have any? Oh, yeah, you should. Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
So I will be providing a veteran VA claims session or class on April 16th at 6 p.m. And that is open to anyone in the community that is interested, whether you're a veteran or whether you know a veteran and would like to come take notes for him because you can't get him to come. We know how that works.
Know how that works. Okay, move on to committees. Is there any committee that would like to provide a report tonight? Anyone online for a committee? Nope. Okay. Moving on to staff reports.
Right, first up, Sean, the marshal.
Good evening, everybody. Our caseload stayed about the same. Nothing really different happened for this month. That was crazy. We did have the ice highway 16 car pile up, and we crunched a fire truck. So that was 3 hours of my life that I'll never be warm again. So, other agencies assisting us with calls with 3. We helped out 3 other agencies, so we were about par for the course there. All reporting is completed. Reserves worked 8 hours. Speed cameras. I'm glad that Ms. King's not here because I have errors in my report. So I can give you updated numbers from what's on there. We gave out 254 tickets on the speed cameras in February, which is up from 253, so up by 1. And we had 229 folks pay citations in February.
So under the citizen contacts, how are those conversations with everyone going about the traffic citations and the traffic cameras? How is that being?
I'm
basically
still
received?
not getting any negative feedback. A lot of people just want to know where it's at. I guess that's the biggest question. Where's it at? So we're pretty open about it, and we tell them where it's at and stuff like that. And so it's been, we talked a little bit before about hopefully seeing some trends, and some of those traffic trends going in a positive way or going down. And they've stayed pretty much the same. I can tell you that the amount of citizens in Green Mountain Falls who I'm issuing citations to has gone down. I think the town people got it figured out, but it's the people that come from out of town. There's a lot of Cascade Chipeta Park that just comes zipping through a bunch. We get a lot of Woodland Park and then Colorado Springs. And we've hit at least 30 of the states with tickets. So we hopefully people will catch on and we'll start seeing a trend that's more safe than what we have now. But for right now, it's staying about the same. So,
Are you aware of the bill that's up in the State House now? We're trying to restrict access to third-party information.
yeah, so I speak to that. That is, there's a program out there called Flock, and it's basically cameras that record information on people's plates and who they belong to, if they have warrants, things like that. So if we say something happened here and we wanted to, I could call El Paso County and say, hey, I had this car that was involved in this crime. Can you check and see if it hit any of the Flock cameras? And they can say, yeah, it went past one in Fountain at blah, blah, blah. And I can tell where that person is going, and it can help with a case. Our cameras do not record into the flock system at all. We could if we wanted to, but we will not do that because that was, I mean, that seems like a deal breaker for a lot of people. We don't want to keep people's stuff. So the information that we record on people's plates and things like that, we keep them until either the case is resolved, or if it doesn't resolve, we only keep it for 3 years and then it gets dumped. And we do not share that with anybody outside of our organization. And MetaTraffic does not have the ability to give that information away from us per our agreement that we signed with them.
Trustees, any other questions or comments? Okay.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Marshall.
Awesome. Thank you, Sean. Kelly is out right now. He's having some back issues. So I'm just going to go ahead and read through his report real quick. Zones 1 through 4 had water boards and he removed those. 50 tons of road base set out. I think that we can ask him specifically where at. Asphalt work plan set. I was talking about the work plan here coming up soon with the downtown shop clean and progressing, 4 potholes filled. Bi-weekly trash dog station pickup, Stilling Basin scheduled for March 5th. So we did get CSU has gotten back to us. They did pull a permit here, and obviously we waived the fee for them to go ahead and put in I think that's they're going to be putting in a new meter on that. He did the safety inspections. Swing S hooks were adjusted. That is because here in April we'll have out CERSA to do our annual safety audits. Pressure washer plow truck still down to 1 salt dog. Safety inspection again. New plow blades, oil change on the F-350, and fuel island moved. Any questions that I can ask Kelly?
Yeah, the status on the joysticks for the grader.
He went ahead and got that done. We do have a mechanic that we reach out to, but he went ahead and ordered that and got it done himself.
So they're in?
They're in. Good to
Okay,
go.
great.
What was that, that bridge that we needed to collectively resurface so they could do the mural again?
Oh,
Was that,
That's right
The
out here
culvert.
by the
okay,
pool.
culvert,
That's the
okay.
pool, and it's actually a culvert, but
okay,
yeah, I think there's some potential going on with there's some potential options that have been presented to one of the committees.
okay,
So some of the options involve like stone facing and
okay.
whatnot.
So it is still being
Yeah.
worked at some level. Oh, that's all I
yes,
need.
ma'am.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Okay. So thank you, Kelly, though you're not here. All right. All right, town clerk Nicole Woods.
All right, so I'm finishing up on the short-term rentals. The end date is March 15th. I have one more I'm still waiting on to hear back. I've contacted the guy and he said he would get on and fill it out, but he has not yet. I do have 2 spots opening for sure, and then I will start those processes on March 16th. Keeping QuickBooks up to date. It is a little difficult with QuickBooks because when we get deposits made into our savings account, we don't have a savings account on our QuickBooks. So the accountant is going to help me get that loaded up. And so it just shows when I transfer money from our savings to our checking, it's just a one-time transfer. So it's not getting noted into our profit and loss, showing where that money's coming from. So I am working on that right now. Also our QuickBooks account is, and it could be from 2024, or something in 2025, but we're $5,000 difference from QuickBooks to our bank account. I've gone through a lot of stuff, but also QuickBooks is a little difficult. So I'm working my way through it, trying to see where that could have been missed, or if something wasn't entered for a deposit. Let's see. We have no new emergency requests have been put in. We have done 2 dog licenses so far this year. And I marked my calendar on all the dates for voting information. So once when it comes up in July, I know what to expect and when we need to have things in by.
Could we post that out on our website
Yeah,
so that, and if someone is interested, they can go to the website and see, okay, here's when the dates are. And is there a difference between the petitions for like the board position versus the ballot?
I can ask.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm pretty sure there's certain deadlines for petitions for board position. It's so many days before the actual election, and there's a start and an end date. But what I'm not so sure of is, okay, at what point do we need any potential ballot language into the county? Yeah. Okay, thank you.
And then we do have the HUTF funds are coming in. The funds should be coming the middle towards the end of this month. And like Mr. Patterson said, we are seeing a little bit less this month and hopefully next month we will get the difference. Any questions?
Yeah, do either of you know, or any of those funds still the withheld funds, or have those all been paid out?
No more funds are being withheld at this moment.
Okay.
Local highway finance report was turned in, so we're just kind of waiting for the average disbursements to come out, and then we'll start receiving those funds.
Okay.
Just to compound on the QuickBooks just a little bit, right? I'm sure you guys are wanting some more information on that. Last year, accountant stopped working with us, and we got a new accountant, so there was a lot of reconciliations. I mean, even in April. When they were working with us that weren't there. So when we talk about this $5,000 difference, just know that, our concerns were being asked to the previous accountant about these reconciliations and whatnot. Stuff wasn't getting done. And then that's when we made a decision to go with a new accountant. So when we talk about that discrepancy, that's why. Now, you're going to see here on this profit and loss that it says 100%, right? We talked about it here at the 6:30 meeting. I'll try to, we'll work with this accountant here to accurately reflect the percentage of the budget that we're spending. And obviously we'll go over it here in 2 more seconds, but actually I'll leave it at that and I'll go ahead in my report and then we'll pick back up. All right, report number 1. So got some confirmations. Cassell will be implemented by June. That means we're going live with that software. Great news, USDA search grant was awarded for a sewage treatment system feasibility study. $85,000, no match required. I went ahead and led into this, I think, on email. Generally, the search grants are $35,000, requiring a 25% match. Mr. Mayor, you must have talked to the right people, so thank you for helping us out with that. The state says, well, we're going to give you $85,000. The state, no doubt, knows the problems that we're facing, and gave us the funding with no match required. So that's a pretty big win. Well, there's also we also got approved for EPIC funding, EPIC, EPIC funding. I think EPIC funding's through the EPA there. Under the EPA, and that is an additional $85,000 that we can use after this feasibility study to go towards engineering. No, that will not cover any, all those costs, but that's more money in our pockets that we can use to offset our own costs. Report 3. I will be applying for the 50,000 T-Mobile hometown grant to get the pavers in Gazebo Park. Maybe see if we can get some wedding chairs and a place to store them as well. This is just kind of a small grant. I'm just giving you an update. It's kind of I have unlikely feelings that we'll even get this grant. Everybody across America is applying for this grant, and the chances that our town gets it is just as much as the next. All right, working with GovWest and Numo to fix the lodging tax forms to reflect the ordinance. Now you guys charged us with this ever since you had this ordinance passed, to work with them. And just to give you an idea of what was going on, the form, so our lodging and STR owners, they would fill out a quarterly form, and it would say how many times has bedroom 1 through 5, or if you only had 3 or 4 or 5, right? How much times a month has this particular bedroom been rented out? Well, how would you as an STR owner know that? You could have 2 people staying in STR, but they married and they might be sleeping in the same bed. Well, then they only use the 1 bed. So you can, start to see that there could be some inaccuracies with the money that we were collecting. I'll leave it at that. So what we're going to do, and what I'm trying to get them to do, is fix the form to where it just says how many times has this Airbnb lodging establishment been rented out this month, and then we take that number times 4.50 times the number of bedrooms, and then that is the lodging tax, right? That was the way. That was what you guys wanted us to do. So just know that it's getting done. I'll give you updates as this comes. So good news on that as well. Any questions before we move on to the financial reports?
I do have a few questions.
Yes, ma'am.
So the first is when it comes to the proper time, those 2 STR openings, is that something that would be appropriate to advertise on the GMF politics page or somewhere else like
So we
that?
have currently like 8
Okay.
people on wait list.
Okay. Then the wait list takes
Yeah.
precedence. Okay. And then the other thing is that probably a few months ago, we talked to y'all about developing a way to be more responsive to the complaints and the concerns that citizens have brought up. And I just wanted to follow up with that and see what y'all have developed to do so.
So the only, unless we get a new software, the way that we're going to have to do that is that we're going to go, we'd have to do once a month. So you'd be 1 month behind on our complaints on the website, and then take that and then essentially copy and paste onto an Excel sheet and then show you that, which is pretty inefficient. And if I am honest with you guys, just to kind of.
Just to clarify,
Mhm.
the response to the citizens themselves,
Oh,
so that they don't feel, as I felt years ago with a previous group, that I was screaming into a void and nothing was ever heard or done.
last time we talked, you guys wanted to see the number of complaints and what was finished. So that was my understanding, correct? Both. Okay, so
That was my concern, is making sure that the citizens that are bringing complaints and concerns actually are responded to. But I think we also had requested that too.
yeah, so we haven't had any new complaints this year for that, but I'd like to talk a little bit about that more. And I don't mean to make any of you guys feel uncomfortable, but I have to be honest. We have many monthly reports that we give you guys. On top of that, we give you guys quarterly reports. I have limited staff, and with all of that in mind, there's only so much that we can do before we start having all these monthly responsibilities and then end up missing something, and I don't want to end up missing something per month, and then you say, hey, where's this, because we're overwhelmed trying to get these monthly reports in. Now what I can do is, rather than take something to show you total monthly complaints and the complaints that we get answered, is when we do get these complaints, is that we can get you guys on that complaint list, so you know what the complaints are. And then that way you release the comprised ahead of time. Now, with how we solve those complaints, we can send an email then as well. So how does that sound with that?
I was thinking
With
that
that
we were
said.
gonna take a quarterly snapshot of what used to be called the kudos and concerns, the non-emergency complaints. and then drop that into an Excel and have that quarterly. I
For
was
trend
thinking-
analysis.
Yeah.
My apologies for those online. So you want those quarterly, we don't want those monthly, and we just want an overall screenshot,
Because it seems like we just didn't.
snapshot.
that We weren't getting that many and a monthly, we'd just be looking at the same data over and over again. But that's what I thought we were doing.
I know it's an additional thing, but it's something we've been talking about since I showed up 3 years ago, and we haven't been able to nail it down in 3 years. So
Well,
anything we can come up with.
Absolutely. And if I'm honest with you, I think that's why we couldn't nail it down. It was the reason I explained, right?
But-
So I don't mean to, and this is not me trying to offend or say, hey, I'm, I don't want to do this or no. It's just, what is that happy medium and how can we please you guys? Well, also, yes, we can do the quarterly and we can also get you on the distribution list. That will be easy. So when we get the complaints, at least you're seeing those.
Yeah, the other piece that I thought Trustee Morales brought up was the lie back to the person lodging the complaint or putting something in the system.
We have done that. Yep. So
Is there a way to say, okay, yeah, we got your thing's been received?
yes, so we've always done that, but we also can now get there. We require on the form to put in the number and the email, so there is no more anonymous. I think we give the option so you can put anonymous and an email and a number that we can get back to you if you want to get back.
Okay.
Us to get back to. Absolutely.
I can also tell you that if it comes to the marshal's office, it's counted as a call for service, and it's indicated in my report. So, although it doesn't say this came in on that, but might have to be answered within 20 hours.
Now, my concern is more just like when there's something that does fall into our purview that, whether it's a derelict vehicle that is on public property or a road that for whatever reason continues to get missed, or hiking or no parking signage, those kind of things. If we're not made aware of those complaints, then we can't, when it becomes something that rises above the level that you can help at your level, that we can step in and then make something happen.
Absolutely. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Thank you all. Again, that was not me telling you no, just, what's the happy medium here?
Okay. Is anybody, any more staff reports?
No, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, then we go into financial reports.
All right, so I'll just go ahead and start real quick with the profit and loss. Again, broken record. We will try to get this percentage of the budget fixed. And just to kind of let you know what's going on in there, it has each month what the budget should be. And so what I did is I went through, okay, I deleted each month and I just put December. So when you go through and you see, June 1st and March 3rd, each of those have zero, and then December has the full amount budgeted. It's going to show you 100%. I didn't realize that at the time. I'm just going to run through this to get you guys comprised of what we have spent this year. So Kirkpatrick Family Fund grants, we have spent some money, and I think I've even emailed that over to you guys. On the Marshall's building, we did get a structural assessment done. There also is some additional engineering work, right? The original thought was that we can get the construction to the ready grants. We didn't get the ready grant. So now we're pivoting over to getting the planning ready so that when we apply for that ready grant later, we can then take all those drawings and say, hey, we have a shovel-ready project, and make it a more competitive project. Going down, Colorado sales tax 3%. Nicole will explain this a bit to you, but it's actually 25 plus 14, so around $45,000 collected so far this year. PPRBD 3% sales use tax. Animal licenses is always going to be pretty small amount. Short-term rental licenses received around $26,000 worth of that so far. Next page. Is this 1105? under franchise. Is that the reimbursement or is that the franchise? Okay, so we'll see in 1105, if you guys go to 4,500 franchise income, under there, you're going to see for electric, 11,507. Now, we're going to probably put this somewhere else, but this is actually a reimbursement over the last few years. What I've noticed is that CSU is charging us water fees every single year when we have our existing agreement with them that says on these specific items we shouldn't. So that 1105 was actually reimbursement from a few years back till now on the utility cost for water. So that's actually a big win, and we'll probably move that over to miscellaneous revenue or something similar. So a little bit of money collected in the gas utilities as well as telephone. Going down, we got a few dollars through pass-through billing coming in already. Pass-through billing, that's garbage, yeah. Pass-through billing is what we're using for the garbage fees for our businesses, right? We just pass that on through them, so that's why that's there. Most of our costs this year has really just been through payroll. We haven't had any big projects, so all of our costs are pretty low. So that's all I have for now. If you have questions, I can answer them. Then we'll give it over to Nicole.
Given where we live, though, most of our projects and our income's going to be in the summer, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
All right, Nicole.
So to keep going on to like the deposit slips and the check detail. Basically for the month of February, all the check detail are checks that I have written out to pay for bills. And then the deposit details are the deposits that we've received for the month of February. And any other questions?
Pretty quick report on that. As we get later on into the year, we'll have some more for you. I guess I'll include was around it's about I think it was on $6,000 for new joysticks. It was going to be around $1,400 to get them installed. Kelly saved us, $1,400 to get them installed. Kelly saved us around $1,400 in that himself. We did have to pay a mechanic though, just to diagnose it at the beginning, just to see what was going on. That's it.
Okay. With that, we'll move into our first public comment period. And I'm looking at the audience. Not seeing anyone raising their hand for public comment. How about on Teams?
Not seeing any.
Hi, this is Ann.
Go
And
ahead.
I just want to say thanks a lot. You guys are really considering such important things right now. And I really liked what Brandy said, about responding to people. And I know it's not easy, but I think that's probably extremely important. I'm so sorry that this is kind of a difficult time for all of you, but thank you. Bye.
Okay. Do we have anyone else? Nope. Okay. Well, we'll move then into our business items. The first item is ordinance 2026-01, change in PC responsibilities. We do have an additional planning commissioner application. And so I would ask the board if this is something that you would like to maybe at this time table.
I would like to move that we table business items A and B.
I would like to comment on B.
Okay.
B is one that basically gives the board the ability to do what the planning commission does in case we don't have, a quorum.
Okay,
so
so it's only in the interim.
Yeah, and
Okay.
that's only if we don't have a quorum.
Okay, then I will revise it.
Yeah, we had a big discussion about that at one time because we were basically the quasi judicial end of that scenario. So the planning commission approves something, it gets challenged, and then we would make a decision. So that
That's right.
filter would be
if-
removed.
If that were to occur, we would have to, say we don't have a quorum, something does come to us. If it gets challenged, then we'd have to implement a board of adjustment. And we can call that at any time. So that would be the backup.
And who's the board of adjustment?
It would have to be whoever we can select at the time. Right now, we don't have anyone
more like-
specifically selected.
So in simple man's terms, like a mediator.
Yeah. Yeah, but we'd probably try to have at least 3 people on it. I don't know if I can't.
Is that
remember
on
if there's a
paper
requirement.
anywhere?
Yeah, it's in our quote. It's in our code. I can't remember if it's 3 or 5.
Sorry, Board of Adjustments, I am pretty sure as a planning commission, we had a talk about that when I first started. I could be wrong, so I see the mayor shaking his head, but I do remember us talking when I first started about asking if you guys wanted to be the Board of Adjustments, to which you denied. And I'm again, I'm using some vague terms here, but pretty sure that now rests with the planning commission. Do we want to look up municipal code here on Google? I don't mind being wrong.
It's Article 11. It's under Article 11, Board of Adjustment. Board of Adjustment is hereby created to hear and decide appeals from basically anyone. Board of Adjustment may overturn anything. I'm looking for membership. It does consist of 5 members, so we would have to select 5 members that
Got
are
it.
not associated with the specific item.
What did happen with that? Did we want the planning commission to be the Board of Adjustments?
Okay, hang on. So when we redid our code, okay, there was certain things done specifically because we had a lot of complaints. We had some complaints on certain things taking too long. And so fences and decks, we basically gave the decision-making approval to the planner. Things like fences and deck, they're called minor site plans. Major site plans, the decision maker is currently the planning commission. And then the board of trustees is the appellate function. Now, if we assume, if we don't have a quorum and if we have a major site plan come in, and if that comes to the board, then if someone appeals that, we would have to create a board of adjustment with 5 members.
Okay, so that's the way it's currently written, and I do agree with you, but I was referring back to last year. The previous board did have a discussion on the Board of Adjustments, and that's why I'm questioning it to see. I don't know if we tabled that, so we can look back in our minutes. We'll make note of that to look at last year's
Yeah.
talks about the Board of
The-
Adjustments.
Part of the problem is we have very few appeals.
Agreed, yeah, and the likelihood that you can get a whole 5 people that meet up
Yeah.
once every 5 years is going to be that much harder.
Yeah, so it's basically, I thought we had basically said, we'll pull together a board of adjustment as needed.
Okay, all right. Well,
That's
I
what
think
I
you
was,
might be right on that.
yeah, that's what I was remembering, and I may be
Okay.
wrong, but that's what I was remembering.
We'll get those minutes and just, I just want to verify that, but I think you're right, Mr. Mayor.
Anyways. So you're moving, we've table 6A.
Yes, I will amend my motion to table 6A and follow that up with a work session with the planning commission members.
I'll second that. Been moved to second that we table item 6A. As stated, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. I think it's good.
Thank you.
Item 6B is ordinance 2026-02, the board and PC responsibilities. And I think I printed that one out. Okay. Yeah, too many pieces of paper. Okay, so ordinance 2026-02 is an ordinance of the town of Green Mountain Falls, Colorado, adding a new section 2-165 to our code authorizing the Board of Trustees to exercise the powers of the Planning Commission when vacancies on the Planning Commission make a quorum impossible. Awkward language, but anyway. So that's what that one is about. And had we not had another potential planning commissioner tonight, we would be in that scenario where they would not have a quorum. And so this is basically the way I'm reading this is if they have a situation where they don't have a quorum, we can assume their duties.
And it would be temporary and then go back to them as soon as they get a quorum.
It's the whole thing is when they don't have a quorum. If the planning commission does not have sufficient members to form a quorum, Board of Trustees may assume and exercise the powers. So it's permissive. We can do it. Until such time as we can appoint a sufficient planning commission members to form a quorum. If we have things that require public hearing, obviously we'll have to go through public hearing.
I would like to see this ordinance be retained and not put on hold. I'm saying there's more value in having this provision in place for the eventuality than not.
Okay. Is that a motion?
So yes, I move that we do accept the ordinance 2602.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. We approve ordinance 2026-02. I better read it. An ordinance of the town of Green Mountain Falls, Colorado, adding a new section 2-165 to the Green Mountain Falls Municipal Code, authorizing the Board of Trustees to exercise the powers of the Planning Commission when vacancies on the Planning Commission make a quorum impossible. I'm going to scratch result. That is just awkward language. Make a quorum impossible. So it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that one carries.
Yes, with result removed.
Yeah, that was just awkward language. The next one is resolution 2026-03 for our budget amendment, and I'll refer to the town manager to brief us on this.
Absolutely. Do you want to just go ahead and skip towards the highlighted? You'll see the highlights here in a minute. There you go. Back one more. I think public safety and scroll down. Oh no, go back up. Up, right there, scroll down. All right. So reason we are looking at a budget amendment already in March, we talked about raising the wages of our marshal and deputy marshal, and this is what that is. Just reflecting it. Also, I just wanted to include that overtime. And next slide, please. And then in that next slide is also just an addition in overtime for public works. So same budget, pretty much the same budget with only those amendments. Any questions on that? So with this amendment, a resolution, you're approving the budget amendment, but you're also approving the wage increases for both the marshal and deputy marshal.
Does this include what I believe is going to need to be about $6,000 in professional services?
No, so that was talked afterwards.
Okay.
So when I made this, then the professional services was talked.
Should we go ahead and add?
It. So puts kind of the marshal and a deputy marshal in a little bit of a tough spot. You guys have to approve their wages, and that's why this is here. So if we push it off, then it would just push push that off even more.
Yeah, what I'm kind of talking about is going
we
ahead
can
and
still
adding it as part of
As this
the
amendment,
motion.
if you guys motion that to include that in there, then I'll absolutely revise that, email that over to you guys, and that'll be reflected on our website.
Okay.
Could you give the rest of us an update first?
Okay, so this involved an executive session item.
Mhm.
Yep. So,
Since it's contained in executive session.
yeah,
But to clarify, this does still result in us having a balanced budget, right? Mr. Patterson?
Yes, ma'am, I apologize. I'm just trying to turn the pages, make sure I get to the right page. Yes, it does.
Okay.
Now, so when we make budgets, just to articulate on that, we're
Mhm.
giving it a very good guess,
Mhm.
right? An educated guess. So yeah, we'll go ahead and add that. And on paper, it looks like that we are spending less than what we are making. But I would caution that the more we do this, we could potentially go over. So
Right.
yeah, since that was something, the 6,000, I think the board had authorized up to 10,000, but I think we're getting help for
Mm.
portions of it. And so that's why I said 6,000, because I
Mhm.
think we have the $1,000 down and then potentially split half of it.
okay, well, if as long as
Yeah.
we get a motion, we'll go ahead and go that
I will
route.
motion that we accept resolution 26-03 budget amendment with the addition of the 6,000 for personnel services,
Professional. service.
professional services.
And I'll go ahead and second that. It's been moved and seconded that we accept resolution, that we approve, pardon me, resolution 2026-03, the budget amendment, to also include the additional $6,000 in professional services. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that carries. Okay, the next one is resolution 2026-04. As soon as I get my copy out, try to brief that one. Okay, so back in January, I'm part of a mayor's caucus. And this was brought up within the mayor's caucus to try to see if we could collectively, regionally come out and adopt a resolution, basically identifying Human Trafficking Month. And so this was the genesis of that. The mayors agreed to take it back to their respective boards to see if they would agree. There is a bill that came out later, basically legalizing commercial sexual activity among consenting adults. And I know some of the other mayors have even more concerns now about, how that may affect the possibility of human trafficking. So anyway, that's the genesis of this. And it's basically, I'll go ahead and read it. It's a resolution of the town of Green Mountain Falls, Colorado, declaring March as National Human Trafficking Month. Human Trafficking Prevention Month. And it's basically the town declares March 2026 and every March thereafter as Human Trafficking Prevention Month. I think normally it happens in January nationally, but since we were kind of behind the eight ball, it's kind of March. And reaffirming the town's commitment to connecting and dots, strengthening communities, preventing trafficking by increasing awareness, improving education about human trafficking, making resources available for individuals and communities impacted by human trafficking, and building diverse public-private partnership to support a more coordinated, comprehensive response to prevent and combat human trafficking. And I might ask the marshal to comment. Sorry, I kind of threw that one at.
No, it's okay. Human trafficking affects all walks of life. And it's very tragic when you see it happening. I've worked multiple cases in my career, and everyone was heartbreaking and destructive. And so your support for that would be greatly appreciated.
Thank you, Marshall. And no challenge to the gravity of the issue. I do want to make sure that I understand what our role and responsibilities are with respect to this last long sentence, and that is increasing awareness, improving education, making resources available.
We have multiple avenues that we don't necessarily have to do. In Colorado Springs, El Paso County, there are many resources that are available to us in this. I think this is more about us supporting those services than it is us doing anything besides giving that support. So
We can do things like provide links on our website and whatnot.
I think that would be
without a
good.
doubt.
Yeah.
Lots of things that can be done, but there's nothing that's gonna cause us to have to do much work. A lot of that work is done, and we utilize a lot of it every month. So
Okay, trustees, do you have any more questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
Move that we accept resolution 2026-04, recognizing March as Human Trafficking Prevention Month.
I'll second it.
Been moving to second that we approve resolution 2026-04, resolution of the town of Green Mountain Falls, Colorado, declaring March as National Human Trafficking Prevention Month. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
I have
Thank
to go back to some humor on this. Thank you for not making it Human Trafficking Month. That would be Prevention Month. It's all,
Yes.
yeah,
Prevention.
it's all about the verbiage.
Prevention. Yeah. Okay, moving on to item 6E, appoint ex officio members to committees.
All right, so we did some reading in ordinances and, looked at our appointments that we had, that we approved here beginning of the year. We noticed that the Parks Rec, so we actually talked about that last time. Mr. Bell, you said you would be the ex officio member for the FMAC. Mr. Mayor, you said you'd be the ex officio member for the Planning Commission, but nobody has said whether or not they would be for the Parks Rec and Trails Advisory Committee. So we do need an affection. Now we do have a missing trustee, but we do need a volunteer.
What responsibilities does that entail?
No responsibilities.
Then I'll do it.
Okay.
You can
You show up to a meeting, you provide support that way. This is one that, helps on our yearly goals of providing support to our.
Yes.
You can actually participate in the
Mhm.
meetings, but you're not a voting member.
Correct. Yes, Mayor. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll get that down.
Okay,
Can we get it is a business items. Can we get ayes and yays and
okay. I'll move that we appoint trustee Morales as ex officio member for Parks, Rec, and Trails. It's been moved and seconded to appoint trustee Morales for ex officio member for Parks, Rec, and Trails. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Our next item is the one we added, item 6F, Planning Commission appointment for Jason Morgan. You have the. Okay. Yeah, you might want to pass that. We got to get a different camera. Okay. The clerk has handed me the application for Jason Morgan to be on Planning Commission. It does appear to be filled out correctly. Since you don't have a copy, I'll read it. Please describe your relationship to the community of Town of Green Mountain Falls, a 13-year Green Mountain Falls resident. Current employer occupation is focused on the family, and the developer work experience may apply, none. Other volunteer experiences may apply, none. Any special qualifications that may apply to this volunteer position. As of the time of this signing, I have been able to successfully keep a 6-year-old and 3-year-old boys alive. Okay. You like it? Yeah. Other current volunteer positions, you hold none. Reasons for choosing the volunteer opportunity to fill a vacancy. Supporting document, it's signed. Supporting documentation is a voter registration, which says Green Mountain Falls. So. Any discussion?
So planning does not have a form right now. They reviewed and. given a thumbs
No,
up.
no, because they don't have a quorum, it comes directly to us. Yeah. But they have been notified, correct? That, yes, because we do have one of the 2 existing commissioners here.
So make a motion that we
Yep,
accept
sure.
Jason Morgan.
It's been moved and seconded. We accept Jason Morgan for the planning commission. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed. Motion carries. We have a planning commission now. Oh,
Does he get sworn in this time or next time?
I'll probably swear him in next time. He may have a problem with Tuesdays.
Could
They
he be
may
sworn in at the PC?
they may change the day of the PC meeting, and I may, if I can. Yeah, go ahead. Please state your name and
I'm Hunt Watson at 10929 Iona Avenue. And in regards to the planning commission meeting, it has been moved to March 10th at 3:30 p.m. It sounds like we're going to try to make that a recurring monthly second Tuesday of every month, 3:30 p.m. Foregoing Jason, committing to that if that still works. But
I had gotten wind that Tuesdays may be a problem for it. We're good. Okay, never mind.
okay.
So yeah, if it's legal to swear them in, I can swear them in at the planning commission. Or we can swear them at the planning commission.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, yeah. We'll just plan on doing that then.
We'll see you on the 10th.
Okay, see you on the 10th.
No need to have to wait a month.
So, moving on to our discussion items, that completes our business items. Now we move into our discussion items. First one up is the 2026 ballot items. And I'm going to encourage us to try to get something here decided here in the not too distant future and get it voted on so we'll start working up the language. We did have the town hall in February. It was not well attended. Do you need this?
No, can she put it up there?
No, she
Oh,
doesn't have
okay.
it. Yeah, for those on Teams, this was something that was just handed out to the board. The results, I'll just go over that real quickly. Under financial, increased sales tax, mill levy increase, temporarily raised sales tax. Under property/infrastructure, property sales of orphan lots, annexation, wastewater, and short-term rentals. Under government, town government, form of government, basically same thing. Under other, school district. And that was all the comments. In fact, the yellow stickies are actually still on the table up here. I mean, not yellow stickies, the Post-it notes are actually still up on the table. So yeah, with that, I think we're probably going to hear about potential different options with sales taxes, permanent and temporary, 0.5% and 1%. And there's just different, there's pros and cons probably associated with each. I'm a little concerned because the sales tax, pardon me while I pull this other document out. I just kind of real quickly glanced at the sales taxes in the region. Green Mountain Falls is currently at 8.13. Manitou is currently at 9.03. And keep in mind that I just looked these up on the internet and I'm hoping they're accurate. Woodland Park, I was a little confused. I saw a 5.9, but then if you include the UPass Regional Health District, it put it up to 8.4. Okay. Cripple Creek, it looked like they're at 7.2. Victor looked like they're 6.9. Fountain, since a lot of these other places are in Teller County, I looked at Fountain, they're at 7.53. Monument is at 7.63, and Colorado Springs appears to be at 8.2%.
So we're a little high is what it sounds like.
And well, if we do a full 1%, we'll be the highest in the region.
And that'll drive businesses away,
Maybe, I don't know.
likely.
I had a business owner did call me with a concern on property taxes.
Mhm.
And
And that
I-
was because of an increase in the state property taxes?
well, the state's kind of I think there are some things that I'm going to call them credits. They're not really credits, but some credits that went away.
Oh,
And so things kind of jumped up. At least that's what I thought it was. Anyway, I think a lot of people have seen some significant increases in property taxes here just recently. We've, the one business I was able to look on that specific business, and they were in a business. If you have like an apartment,
Mhm.
you get charged both business and residential. And they were not using the apartment, and so they were able to
Mhm.
they're turning in paperwork to that'll help reduce their property taxes. But they're sitting at about, businesses are setting like 27% assessment rate, which is, kind of painful.
Mhm.
So I do have a concern with choking the businesses out. It's just one of those things where, okay, and especially since we don't appear to be having a lot of community engagement,
Mhm.
it kind of makes me feel very uneasy.
So it seems like quite a bit of this goes back to trying to raise revenue for the town. And one of the ways I've seen on ballots is you provide choices A through B or A through D. And so we could theoretically, have increased sales tax, mill levy, and then temporarily raise tax, and then also possibly add the property sales of orphan lots, all as options to raise revenue for the town. And then explain, the pros and cons for each one so that people have a little bit more understanding of the whole situation.
Yeah.
To include the fact that, hey, if you raise, or we're already on the upper end of this, so if we raise, we might potentially drive businesses away.
Yeah.
For that one particular one.
I think the only thing we have to go to the ballot for is the tax increases.
Well, but I think we owe the town a vote in property sales of any kind.
Yeah,
That's just
could-
my personal opinion.
yeah. I get a little, I get a little concerned when we potentially lock ourselves in to something. And if it goes to the ballot and we get into a problem, now we got to go back to the ballot.
Well, that it says that we're allowed to, not that we will, but allowed to, essentially.
Yeah, which basically 3 votes now, and yeah, I
But the
don't know.
optics of making sure that we're getting the town's input when we're selling town property is important.
Yeah.
Making sure that we're representing the people.
Interesting. Yeah, I'd want to think about that.
Okay.
Personally, just for me, I don't
Okay.
know about other board members if you have thoughts. The government one seems to come up. Originally, I think it was back when we were discussing on whether or not we're going to have a town manager or not. And
that was
at
like
that
2
time-
town managers ago, and that was
No, that was just this last one.
Oh.
Yeah. And I think we were trying to say, okay, let's go to the ballot to see if the residents are willing to sustain more taxes in order to pay for all the positions that we're needing.
But the other option is having more citizen engagement, and we have 3 people in here
Yeah.
for our meeting.
Yeah, I know. So that's, yeah, like say, personally, I don't, I prefer not to get locked in.
Mhm.
And I'm kind of apprehensive about increasing our sales taxes too much and potentially driving business away.
But again, a lot of it can come down to verbiage in the ballot of, increasing allowed to increase sales taxes up to such and such, which again, doesn't lock us into a specific, it just says this is the upper
Up to
limit.
the upper limit. That's true. Yeah, what happened over the summer
Mhm.
concerned me
Greatly.
a lot. There's a couple things where we're kind of fragile.
Mhm.
We're kind of fragile when it comes to finances sometimes because we lose the businesses, we're in trouble. Staffing, we lose positions, we're in trouble. Even board positions.
Mhm.
If we don't have enough interest in board positions, we're going to be in trouble. And so as far as like the form of government one, I'd actually like to maybe make a proposal to the board where, I try to craft some, what I call adaptive or conditional type things. Because if we were right now, we have our code basically is for a town manager or for a mayor to act as a town manager. That's what we're currently kind of locked into with code. And so I can take a cut at trying to draft something that would be adaptive or conditional. And if, finances go bad, we could switch. If staffing goes bad, we could switch.
That sounds reasonable
So,
and more flexible to the reality.
That's the thing that I was kind of, I did get really concerned over the summer. And so, yeah. So I think maybe what I think I'm hearing is maybe next month, potentially bring, okay, here's some potential tax items to be put on the ballot and we vote on it.
Mhm.
Say that other one again. You said the
The
property.
property tax and
And-
orphan sales, because again, that falls under,
Sales.
it's not taxes, but it still falls under trying to generate revenue for the
Mhm.
town, at least in my
Okay.
mind. And all of these are geared towards that. But again, that's just a recommendation, that last one.
Yeah.
I mean, the taxes, absolutely, but the property sales, I think that's just a duty we owe to the town.
So we can bring, we can put that on this as a business item for next regular meeting and come on and basically vote on which topic we'd like to put on, and then we'd have to actually vote on the actual ballot language. We'd have to develop the ballot language.
Mhm.
So that would put us into potentially May, and we need to make sure that if we have ballot language developed in May, I'm getting the thumbs up from the town manager. So, but yeah, but bring those up for voting next meeting. And I know I've been doing a lot of talking, so I'm gonna let someone else talk.
Yeah, I think it is important that we're all engaged in the same conversation. And I feel like these two items, discussion items, should have been flip-flopped. that, because I'm very data driven, I would like to hear the justification before start talking about then the specificity of what the ballot issue looks
Okay.
like.
Yeah,
And-
I don't think there's a problem with the discussion. I'm going to the next one and then maybe coming back to this.
That would be helpful.
Okay, thank you.
Just for the language, Mr. Mayor, for the ballot. Okay, well, it is not unheard of for a manager to come before his board and say, hey, we should probably look at increasing taxes, but it's not popular, right? So there's the middle. So I just named this closing the gap. Now, when we talked about, funding certain positions, I went ahead last year and showed you guys that we can run a government with the funds that we have. We can continue to do annual road maintenance and maybe some, capital improvements here and there with grant funding support, right? So that's kind of where we left off at. So we had the money to do general maintenance, and then with the help of grants, we could then, do some capital projects, but very rare. So I decided that throughout all of last year, I've been kind of dropping suggestions to you all, as you can tell. One about selling the land, the other one, thank you, Marshall, came up with a great idea about the Avis speed on the highway. Still working on that. And now this, and all that was almost to prevent coming to where we're at now. Right. So, I try to really get us into different options to look at what we can do to even just raise a little bit of funds, here in the town to get capital projects done. So I took the liberty to look at some larger projects that we needed to get done here in the town. One is the marshal's office. We're getting some, the old, for those online, the old marshal, no, our marshal does not have an office in here. Our marshal has a much nicer office. Next one. All right. And then I did had our engineers work on a downtown connectivity. Just for you looking at that, the sidewalk kind of shows it hugging the lake. It would actually go across the street there. And I had them do edits, but by the time I got those edits, it was too late to put it here due to sunshine laws. So went ahead and looked, okay, hey, what's a big need that we have? Well, we need sidewalks. We have, no sidewalks in the town. Multiple culverts, got a lot of culverts that need to get done in the town, and those are expensive, especially when you use, concrete. If you're going to be using a grant, you got to use American steel. Those grants require 25% down, unless they're in a PPRTA pipeline project. It's not more than likely not going to happen, and this one is not. One of the culverts are though. What's that?
I'd have to double check what we put to the voters.
Yeah, I know one culvert is, and that was the one a little closer to the downtown, almost like the stone bridge.
I was thinking that we put in for the vote, drainage improvements, between, I thought it was Olathe and Hotel.
Oh, okay, so that would cover that. Gotcha.
I'd have to double check.
You're right on that. The language was very vague, so it could allow for that. But that's another need.
And just to
ma'am.
clarify for myself, if or when we're able to do something like this, that would then significantly reduce Public Works or time that they have to spend on clearing those old culverts out and making sure that we do have proper drainage, right?
Yeah, you would absolutely get.
So we would be paying it forward essentially.
Oh, yes. And a lot of that comes with clearing and grubbing on those big construction projects we could get with a grant. I support multiple culverts. That's just one. Obviously, Pass Bridge is another. That's a $7.9 million project. We also have the downtown and townwide/downtown-wide sewage. We talked about, sometimes we get luck, and we've been pretty lucky getting that money for the feasibility study. But we aren't that lucky enough to get it fully funded to actually put the sewage in there. So that's another big one. In fact, this is probably one of the most, in my opinion, one of the most important issues in the town, having a good sewage treatment system. If you're wondering what really hurts sales tax and development, it is this. You cannot get this without your own dollars into the equation. You can get a lot of loans, you can get a lot of other grants, but there's still going to be a fat check due at the end of the day. Going to land acquisition, here's another one that we will need to be looking at. This is El Paso Trail, land acquisition on El Paso Trail. So, here's just another thing that comes up that's, that we didn't budget for, that we didn't see, but that we need to advise or to deal with. And now we have the new pool park. We talked about Ute Pass being around, $7.9 million. Parks are expensive. Parks are extremely expensive. We'd probably be in that $5 million ballpark just on getting a new pool, and then as well as that playground equipment. It's not cheap. Another project that the Parks Committee wanted was the playground updates there at UPass. I got these images off of Google Earth. Probably could have done a better job with my iPhone. So sorry about that. Use your imagination. And so those are kind of, these are the projects when I look at, planning at the town and seeing what we need and what our fiscal needs are. When we look at capital improvements through the years, I not only see these, but I see the big bill attached to that, right? Now, I just wanted to toss in, kind of what our current revenue stands at. So if we were to look, we're a government, so we charge taxes, and that's where our majority of our revenue comes from. Some of it's intergovernmental, so fees, right? And then licenses and permits, charges for services, very low, investment income, and just miscellaneous. So when we start to look at, okay, what can we do to raise income within our municipality, this is what we look at, and then from there we can kind of bake it down to see what specifically. But this is what we're limited to. And then I attached that, we talked about increasing revenue by selling town land, putting that in the Colorado Trust, and then using that interest money to spend. We'd still have that capital there in case we need it for emergencies, and then we just collect on the interest, put that towards capital projects. Talked about the traffic cameras on the highway, and we're currently cleaning up the lodging revenue right now. I would imagine that we'd see some more, a little bit more revenue through there, but we're it's not going to be wouldn't say it's a game changer, right? But we will be seeing some more when we get that cleaned up. Current expenditures. This is where we spend our money: general government, public safety, public works, parks rec, capital outlay, and debt services. And then going forward, we looked at how can we decrease our expenditures, and the whole message was that we can't afford to hire people. It's like, well, no, we can't afford to hire an engineering service that costs $90,000 a year. That's what we can't afford to hire. So we looked at that, and we got that out of there. We cut some yearly subscriptions that we didn't really need. We looked at spending limits on credit cards. I cut some spending limits, revised some policy, and then we also looked at tightening Colorado Trust controls. That's a small one, but if there's any transfers in and out of Colorado Trust, making sure the right amount of eyes are on that. Now, with all this done, we then use the money that we have. We put those towards raises, and mind you, well needed raises. With the raises we have, everybody's underpaid here at the town, but this is a small town, and and we get by. We get a lot of servant-minded people here in the town, to which I'm very thankful for. So thank you, staff. We also look to lease to own some equipment, so we were able to give raises, lease to own with cutting all that. So we've been through this together. We've had some great triumphs together. But then I looked, and I couldn't find I had to really dig in our official records. So I had to do a little Google search, and I think that the last sales tax increase was two decades ago, July 1st, 2004. I'm not sure the accuracy on that.
DOLA may have that information as well.
DOLA?
Yeah, they might.
Okay, I pulled this off some the internet and, that's the date. So, but if that is true, it's been 20 years since we
But-
had a sales tax
But at the
increase.
same time, as we just discussed, we're on the rather high end of sales tax for our area,
Well,
correct?
We are at 8.13.
Mhm.
So I would not say we're on the high end. I'd say, we're middle to the highest range. So if being on the high end would be, right under Manitou. I think we're 2 under Manitou, which is the highest, or we right under Manitou.
We're
Is
Okay.
8.13 and
we're
Manitou is at 9.
8.13. Manitou, according to what I looked up, was 9.0.
And there's no one else above Manitou, no one else above us? Okay, well, my apologies, Ms. Morales. Yes, you're right. 8.13 is what we're sitting at. And my argument is that we should, if we're going to look at taxing if we're looking at increasing taxes to our constituents and our businesses, you've got to be very careful about that. Nobody likes tax increases. Nobody likes property tax increases. I don't like property tax increases. I don't even like paying the property taxes that I have now. And if I had 0, I know I'd be a lot happier. But at the end of the day, that goes through to get projects done, right? Gets public works done. But that's a direct cost to our businesses and to our residents. The sales tax works a little different. Yes, it is a direct cost. If I wanted to go to the pantry and buy some, an egg sandwich or something, then I'd be paying a little bit more every time I go to it. I see this more as we are a tourism town. We get a lot of tourists, and this cost you can almost quote unquote share with the tourists coming through.
But
Please.
we're also competing for businesses with Woodland Park and Manitou Springs, which are a lot larger and more established.
Correct. I would say the larger or the bigger impacts hurdles that we have in getting businesses here is going to be the sewage problem. I guarantee you look at Manitou, they're the highest. They still get a lot of people, a lot of businesses that come through. And, we have this hurdle with the sewage. So I would probably blame that on the sewage. Now, I'm not saying that wouldn't have a effect at all. Next slide. So I looked at what could be the options. Now you have 4 options divided kind of into 2 categories: permanent and then those that would be sunsetted. How do you gain trust? And you gain trust by actually doing the work and then showing me the results. So I thought maybe I would bring this up to you guys, and if this is something you would entertain, is to 4 options, but the one I would suggest that would still keep us under Manitou is the 0.5% sales tax increase. And that is based on fiscal year 2022 to 2025. Got those numbers, did an average, and that's my 0.5% there. Correct. For the the 0.5 sales tax increase, there down below. So my apologize. That's 5%. That should be 0.5, not 0.05. My apologies. But if you can ignore my ignorance and so if we're gonna put this on the ballots, what should we put that 0.5% to? My first idea was the Marshall's building. Now, if we put a sales tax that's going to sunset and we can upgrade the Marshall's building to put wastewater infrastructure in for that, right, to pump that out, and also fix the water that's going to the building and refurbish the building. And we say we get that done within 4 years, we then can have another business operating within the town, providing more sales tax. On top of that, we show the citizens, hey, this is what we've done with your sales tax dollars. My idea with that, if approved, would also, we could keep that, lease that out, use those lease proceeds and put up a, something like a facade grant, right? But we have old buildings here in Green Mountain Falls, our businesses, using that lease proceeds to fund back into our business. So it's really this rotating effect this 0.5% increase would have. And we can put it into the language that says, hey, would you allow us to have a 0.5% increase for this specific project to get done in 4 years? And then, when next 4 years it comes up, they can vote on it again to go to a separate project. Questions and concerns? That was a lot.
Thank you. And
Yes, sir.
to start off, manager, you've done a good job doing idea generation. You've come 3 times to us with different ideas about how to bring revenue to the town, and I appreciate that. And even if we reject it again, I want you to know that the value of the idea generation to give us options is very valuable, and I think it gives us important things to consider. I need a little bit of a history lesson in terms of what we've done so far in the past years concerning looking for grants that could take care of the marshal's office. Because my first question is, I'm going to be opposed to a tax increase, even a sunset one, and 0.5%. I feel like without a clear understanding of what that money's going to go to, and you're giving us an example with the marshal office and its renovation, but without a clear objective and without a clear destination of how those funds would be used, I'm going to be very reluctant. But I want to understand where we've been in the past with respect to looking for grants, because that marshal's office has been there a long time, sitting there, and I know many people have worked on trying to get it
Yeah.
attended to.
We actually got some seed money from Kirkpatrick Family Fund. I don't remember the amount,
$20,000.
20,000, which is basically just almost like seed money to try to get us going. As far as pursuing of the grants, I know most of the activity I was involved with was for the bridge, not necessarily for the old marshal's office. And so I don't know off the top of my head how many grants we've actually been chasing after for the old marshal's office.
I think that's, and again, I need to refresh myself with respect to the priority sheet and the goal sheet that we created for you and how the marshal office appears on that. But I think that, we basically have 7 businesses downtown, and having an 8th, that would be incrementally significant, right? And so I think the pursuit of having adding one to the increment is important. But I'd like to see us understand all the options besides a tax increase for pursuing, renovation and improvement. And that would be important for me to know
Yeah.
that we've looked at this
I think
comprehensively.
the first, okay, so for the old marshal's office, I think the first thing we're going to have to do is try to get the bathroom situation figured out. And we're going to have to drop in at probably another tank, because what was it? The piping's broken to whatever it was before, and it's probably all filled up with dirt anyway.
Correct. Steel rods, actually, instead.
Okay.
Some teenager dropped it down there, yeah.
So yeah, the
But
the wastewater would probably be I would hope that we would do the wastewater first, so we'd have another public restroom available downtown, which it would help, especially that, the square piece on the side. If we could get that up and going again, that would definitely be nice, but we're probably gonna have to put on a new roof and plumbing and whatnot as well. So to me, I would hope we try to target something like that first with the old marshal's office, get the restroom up. It would potentially be something where we get lease and sales tax. So we could possibly get, I don't know, 10,000 a year lease plus the sales tax, because we would own it. But again, it's just, when you're looking at priorities, bridge kind of came first. Of course, we're still trying to hear back from some of those, but
and we're conflating a little bit the improvement requirements versus how do we pay for the improvements. And so I think before Trustee Morales came on board, we'd had some, a general understanding that we were going to have this ballot issue discussion, specifically around giving the people the choice to decide, do they or do they not want a town manager? And it feels like politically we've moved away from where we were
Mhm.
at that point in time.
Yeah.
And so,
Some of
I-
it.
okay,
Yeah.
but that piece of the conversation hasn't been aired. And so it feels like we've been filling in the blanks of, okay, we talked about a ballot issue,
Mhm.
Um, now what is that? And versus coming back to trustee Ives' actual concern in terms of what we talked about. Because we had something very specific that we were considering at that point in time that got put off from 25 into 26. And I sort of feel
Right.
like part of this is trying to fill in a blank that is a little bit different than what we originally had agreed to before trustee Morales joined us.
Right.
And please correct me. Trustee Vise, Mayor, you were,
That was some of the initial discussions back when we were talking about, are we going to have a town manager? Just, discussions, agreements.
That was also a concern that trustee King brought up the last time we discussed this.
Yeah.
As well.
And so, on that, the ballot language would then be more along the lines of, do you want a tax increase to pay for positions?
More of to fund this style of government.
Yeah.
It wasn't about individuals.
Yeah, I thought it was more for funding a position.
and and through time, we've demonstrated with our track record that it's fundable, okay?
Yeah.
But it's still a matter of public choice, right? Is the way I understood the discussion back then. And whether or not that's still of that,
Whatever, to me, however it ends up getting used, it's still a tax increase. And, forms of government, yeah, there's costs associated with each one. And, I think at the time there was concern of, can we afford it? Can we afford it? Because the messaging the town was giving up was, we can't afford anything. And I don't know if that was the correct, if that
no,
was
I think
entirely
we've proven
accurate.
differently. And I really appreciate,
Yeah.
again, the managers reminding us, we've got a new grader,
Yeah.
we've got a new skid steer. We've been able to give some pay raises, some needed pay raise.
Well, and
So
that
we're
was,
doing the right things with, even on our very constrained budget.
and that was also through the staff's hard effort in balancing the budget.
Yeah.
Which I know was a monumental task.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
except for 2024. 2024 was not a good year. And that concerns me too. So yeah.
And we're dealing with inflation.
And we're dealing
Cost of
with inflation.
business, cost of construction, all of that's just getting more expensive and it's not going to go down.
And so, it kind of gets back to, do we want to put a tax increase on the ballot to fund basically the town? So, and, we can try to earmark things on the ballot. That's one option. But it still gets down to, do we want to, putting something on the ballot for the voters to vote on?
So are you suggesting tying it all together or suggesting putting a tax increase or some kind of revenue increase and then also a form of government vote?
Are you directing that to me or my?
Directing that at you.
It's
Okay.
It's the funding of the government. If we fund the government as it sits right now through a tax increase, that automatically frees up money for other things. It's just more money for other things. We're just asking, we have a very small town, very tiny town, very tiny footprint, limited options for growth. It's always been that way. That never changes. if we want this, if we want a government that costs us X amount of dollars to run day to day, I think that should be funded. When it was originally funded, it was through grants, the style of government that reduced over the years
Right.
to nothing. And that's where we're at right now. So as a town, we are funding this style of government out of the pocketbook that we have, but that's not increasing.
Yeah,
That was the point.
but I also see, and I also see a increase in the requirements that that are put down from the state and from the region. So
State mainly.
that becomes almost unmanageable if you don't
Very.
have somebody that really knows what they're
It's
doing
very concerning.
and is familiar with it. Because I certainly couldn't. And I don't know that anybody in this room, except for perhaps the mayor, because he spends so much time here, could.
I
We've
would,
somehow managed for decades to do it.
Poorly.
yeah, it's,
How do you know?
well,
What do you
take
mean
El Paso,
poorly?
take El
It's not
Paso
so great.
Trail, take El Paso Trail. El Paso Trail is a perfect example. Well, so,
So, yes. One, I think we just needed to be honest of how this came up and what its history was. And the fact
Okay.
that things were said a year ago about what we were about why we were gonna put this on the
Mhm.
ballot. Um, um, my own position is, I, in terms of the ballot, I feel like we're getting, the fact that we've struggled to find clarity in defining what it is that would be on the ballot, and is that I'm questioning whether there's any great need to have any kind of a ballot item. But I do want us to address the fact that how we got here, how we got to the point where this has been lingering, for a year, where it was going to be on the 25 and now on the 26. And I think that at least needed to be discussed.
okay.
And
So next steps. I'm thinking bringing something to the board next month. It could be, and I would want to bring in a topic. And then once we kind of get a selected topic or topics, then we start developing the language. And so, I mean, we could basically bring these four in front of the board next month for a vote. Say, board, do we want to put any of these on the ballot? And then we develop the language from that. Is that?
that's an approach. And that could, so, and we're moving towards a, language needs to be established again by August. Is that correct?
That's what the town manager's just informed us is what August 4th, I think is what he just mentioned.
So sort of cascading. So looking at the March issue to determine if we're talking about a willingness to raise taxes. and
Yeah,
then
so in April, I would probably have these as a business item. And we'd basically let someone, make a motion. And if we get one that gets 3 votes or more, then that's the one we topically proceed on with, and then develop the language from that.
Okay, all right, that's a plan forward.
That these 4 for April, put them on for a
Do we
vote.
want to also include for our own internal voting of what ballot items get put on there, the form of government?
Well, I
Or
think
not.
if I understand the mayor's logic is, it's a funding question. And then once we decide that we're going to ask the voters for funding, what those funds will go towards. Does that break it down?
That's kind of what, basically funding the government, funding whatever government we're going to have. But I'd also like to try to, at some point, bring forward the proposal of the adaptive with exit and entry criteria. Because if we do lose the businesses, we're in trouble. We're only going to be able to keep like 3 or 4 employees. If we wipe out the sales and use taxes, that's the biggest chunk. And I'm trying to avoid being locked into something where we can't adapt quickly. Those are just my thoughts. But it's going to take me 2 or 3 months to try to even do enough research to bring it to the board.
But that's separate than the ballot issues, right?
There has been some talk about having town form of government on the ballot.
I know,
Yeah.
but we're talking about a few different things here. So
Yeah, we're talking about 2 different things. We can have form of government and, and the potential tax issue on the ballot. Or if we just want to gear it towards, do we want a tax increase?
I think that's something that the board should vote on next time.
This form as well?
Based on what was discussed, it sounds like that was something that was agreed upon a year ago.
No, it was more getting what trustee Ives was saying.
Okay.
Yeah. Which was more of a financial piece.
Okay. And again, I wasn't here, so this is why I'm
Yeah.
asking for clarity. Thank you.
I think
So,
that's the path
okay,
forward.
at a minimum, we'll have these to vote on. Thumbs up?
Right.
Thumbs up. Okay.
It's a discussion item, so yes.
Huh?
It's a discussion item, so
It's a discussion item,
You're
so,
right.
it's a direction
yes.
to basically, we don't vote on it, but it's a direction. So, okay. Have we hit our discussion items? I think we have. Correspondence, task list.
All right, just going through the task list here real quickly, just to give you guys a comprised. Hotel Park, we'll update that it's just a couple of days ago, so it's not going to be reflected on this, but we'll update the Hotel Park to have it reflect that CSU is going to be working here in the town, and we'll probably even give you an update on what they've done so far. Olathe painting, this is going to be changed to with Parks, Recs, and Trail Advisory Committee on that.
Yeah, I
that
think
culvert
we're looking
painting.
at something different than what you're talking to.
I had this one printed. I can just read off of what's on the screen, I guess. I thought I had the same thing. Go ahead and scroll down then. Okay, one more to get Hotel Park up there. Yeah, we're looking at no, I think we're looking at the right one, yeah, task list. Okay, so I just went ahead and skipped a bunch. So Hotel Park, right now, after this meeting, go ahead and give you guys an update on what CSU has done over this past month on Hotel Park. So be expecting that. Culvert and Olathe and UPass culvert painting. I'll go ahead and just kind of put on that language there. It's with the Parks, Recs, Trails Advisory Committee. And once we get some updates, they'll be here for you guys to see. Culvert ordinance agreement. I did update that. Right now we're kind of just waiting to get some fish to bite. And once we have that, actually, we're getting bids right now, a couple different bidders to look at a few different homes. And then once we get a cheaper bid, we'll go through with that. So
if I could add to that one.
yes, Mr. Mayor.
This is the the kind of the private public arrangement here where people can work kind of through the town, and it's basically, they just pay for the culvert and the labor that goes in. We've gotten 2 estimates. There's 3 prototype properties, homeowners that are looking into this. We've gotten 2 estimates on each, and now we're kind of waiting to see if any of them decide to go for it. What it does save the homeowner, if they had to do this themselves, they would have to have at a minimum, probably a engineer and the permit. They'd probably have to get it engineered because it would fall under the sensitive lands section of our code. So, but yeah, we do have 2 estimates for each property. So we'll see.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Road closure form, working with Kelly to get that one done. Absolutely. I'll work with Kelly and the marshal to give you guys an update next month. Thank you. Absolutely. Love that. Thank you. Thank you, Marshall. Sale of the properties. Okay, so we'll probably put this on, I saw it here as a, a ballot item, the property sales, orphan lots. It looks like tonight you guys did not want that up to vote, so I can go ahead and put that in front of you. I went ahead and got some comps, and we can put that in front of you as a discussion item next month, and then start moving forward to see if you guys, want to do this or not. No, Mr. Mayor, you have something to say?
Yeah, I thought that was potentially one of the items we were looking at for voting on for a ballot.
So you still want us to keep all of this here for next month for you guys to vote on this sheet
I
here?
think the one for sure to drop off is probably the school district, because that was just a comment coming from a
Okay.
constituent.
So we'll hold off on the property sale. Okay, so just to let you know, we have everything's pretty much ready to go when we do want to do that. El Paso Avenue, just got an update the other day. Need to get that as assessed. Really hard to find an assessor to do public right away. CDOT had a list. I reached out to a guy. Closest one was out in Pueblo. He has some availability. I'm waiting on a price on what that service would cost. Once I get that, you will know. Avis Speed Highway 24. Don't want to give too much on kind of what we're doing with that until I get some word back from some other people who we're talking to. And then water rights, we'll get that off because you guys don't want that on anymore. Any questions?
Thank you for the update.
Yes, thank you. And could we start getting a little bit of an update on the Avis revenue? So you've given us the number of tickets paid, but what that means in terms of actual dollars. And
just for the stuff in town, last month we collected $7,400 in ticket fees, and we are probably paying about $3,500 back to the company for services and for renting the cameras. So I'm anticipating somewhere between $3,000 and $4,000 that we'll see next month.
all right, thank you.
Was there any challenges to the ticket
that
the company had to deal with?
No, no, everything's been running pretty smoothly. Their website has a few hiccups every so often. I really think it's from developer and like something not clicking with Verizon. Seems like anybody that doesn't have Verizon makes it e-through easier than the other ones, but other than that, no.
The ones that don't pay, they handle that part of it, right?
So-
Collection.
Yes, so got more info on that. Because it's in Colorado and not Louisiana, we will have to use our own, but it doesn't cost us anything. But they will help us get those to the collection company, yes.
So it costs us like 7%, doesn't it? Because the Colorado only allows us to charge a certain percentage, and collection agencies a little bit of a smidge above.
Yeah, so the collection agency doesn't charge us anything for going after collections. Their money comes from charging the customer X amount, and they can't go over, I think, 20% or something like that.
Yeah, it's a state limit.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Okay, anything else? Okay, we're at item 9, our second public comment. Do we have anyone that would like to comment? Not seeing anyone here in the audience.
Oh.
Okay, go ahead, state your name.
Is someone there in the room?
Yeah, the board is still here in the room, plus a couple audience members.
But they're not, is it okay if I speak? I did, that's fine.
Yes, go ahead.
My name is Ann Esch, and while I'm in Iowa right now, I'll be back at 6830 Colorado Street, Green Mountain Falls. And I just wanted to commend Jason Morgan and Hut Watson for stepping forward at this difficult time, because I think there should be a full commission, planning commission, to ponder this question carefully. And I would like to point out, just from my own opinion, really, that if you don't have a planning commission and people can only appeal to the Board of Trustees and you vote no, their next option is the court, really. I think you need to ponder that very carefully about the Board of Adjustment question. A long time ago, I applied to be on the Board of Adjustment that exists, but I was encouraged not to do that and to go on to the fire committee. But it is complicated. I'm not mad at anybody. I just think it's wonderful and I love the town and I'm so glad these two young fellows have stepped up. So thank you all. Bye.
We have any other public commenters? Okay. That closes the second public comment period. It is now 8:51 and we are adjourned. Thanks, everyone.